Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so crazy?
We will make America proud again. And you try to we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
The Democrats' current position is that the only way the American government can reopen is if illegal aliens can get free health care. Don't take my word for it, just look at what's inside of the Democrats' proposal to reopen the government. Their funding proposal would result in nearly $200 billion spent on health care for illegal aliens and other non-citizens over the next decade. To put this in perspective, $200 billion is enough money to fund the entire children's health insurance program, which provides health insurance to low-income children and women. Under the Democrats' proposal, the millions of illegal aliens who improperly were granted asylum and paroled under the Biden administration would once again be allowed to receive Medicaid benefits. It does not end there. The Democrat proposal would also require Medicaid to pay more for emergency care provided to illegal aliens than it does for American patients who are disabled, elderly, or children. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. The Democrat Party has unfortunately closed our government, costing Americans their jobs, threatening our military readiness, harming our economy, and causing chaos, all to help the illegals who broke into our country. Instead of holding illegal aliens accountable and removing them from our country, which is what this administration is trying to do every day, the Democrats want to give them the free benefits paid for by the American taxpayer. Democrats in 2025 are for illegal aliens first and Americans last. This is the reality we are unfortunately facing right now in Washington, D.C.
I think the American patriots deserve a reimbursement checks and some free benefits, if you ask me. They said, Rick, sir, please don't start that today, sir. Rick, sir, please, sir. Rick. I'm hotter than fish grease. The hell with Democrats.
President Trump and Republicans will not give in to these radical demands. The president and Republicans have a sacred responsibility to serve and protect the interests of their constituents, the American people. That's why we are backing a clean and nonpartisan funding bill with no strings attached to reopen the government. Democrats should do what they did 13 separate times under Joe Biden and vote for this exact same type of funding bill. Now the Senate will vote tonight for the 5th time to reopen the government on the 6th day of this shutdown. All we need are an additional 5 Democrat senators to end this madness and vote for the clean funding bill to reopen the government. If you are an American watching at home right now, call your Democrat senators and tell them to do the right thing and end this shutdown.
I say we call and they get that arrested. I'm just saying. I say we call for term limits and people to be arrested and held accountable and audited and investigated. That's what I ought to think ought to happen. I'm just saying. If we just go down there and clean house and we just, that's what I think ought to happen. We go down there and just clean house and walk somebody's ass out. That's what I think ought to happen. I'm just saying. I know it ain't going to happen, but that's what I think ought to happen. Gonna put that big on the big screen. Put it on the big screen.
Democrats' current position is that the only way the American government can reopen is if illegal aliens can get free health care. Don't take my word for it, just look at what's inside of the Democrats' proposal to reopen the government. Their funding proposal would result in nearly $200 billion spent on health care for illegal aliens and other non-citizens over the next decade. To put this in perspective, $200 billion is enough money to fund the entire children's health insurance program.
Because I spoke to the police chief of Portland last week. He said that the president's claims just don't match up with what's happening on the ground.
I would encourage you as a reporter to go on the ground and to take a look at it for yourself, because there's been many members of the press, not press in this room, but independent journalists, some of whom we'll be inviting to the White House very soon to share their stories, because they have been in the middle of these riots and they have witnessed the anarchy that is taking place night after night. It's on video. You should play it on your show. You have a great opportunity in prime time on CNN to show your audience. Yeah, but you're probably talking to partisan Democrat officials who are opposed to everything this president does. You should also ask the people who live in Portland. We've actually heard from many members of the community who have said that this is complete civil disobedience. It's a mess. It's been loud. It's been troubling for neighbors in the community who are just trying to live peacefully. And these people are not there to peacefully protest. They are there to cause mayhem and havoc. The financial backing of these groups, particularly Antifa, is certainly something the administration is looking into aggressively. And the federal government has never really been mobilized or tasked with doing that. So we're kind of kickstarting that into gear. The FBI is working on it alongside the White House's Homeland Security Task Force. We have our intelligence community looking into this as well. And even the Secretary of Treasury is involved with these matters since they are financial in nature. And we will continue to get to the bottom of who is funding these organizations in this organized anarchy against our country and our government. It's a question the American people have been begging the answer for many years, and we're committed to uncovering it. And when we do, I'm sure you'll be one of the first people to know.
Situation here. The left is desperately attempting to uphold this phony narrative. We're not fighting to give taxpayer-funded, federally funded healthcare to illegal migrants. No, of course not. But as the days pass and as the debate continues, their phony narrative is just collapsing in real time. It's built out of sand, and now here comes the rain of facts, and it's just melting. I got some real great clips here. Let me show you guys how the debate is going for Democrats. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so first let's start off with Karoline Leavitt, who absolutely decimated this fake news journalist who tried to fact-check her live on air. Yeah, it pretty much went exactly how you might expect.
Democrats are interested in giving health care to illegal immigrants?
Yes, they are.
U.S. law already prohibits that. It's a 1996 law saying that they cannot give unauthorized immigrants any federally subsidized health care coverage through Medicaid, the Affordable Care Act, or the Children's Health Insurance Program. There seems to be a disconnect in the messaging.
Are you denying that Medicaid money has never gone to illegal aliens in the United States of America?
I'm not denying anything. I'm asking you if you can explain the disconnect in the messaging.
I most certainly can. Let me just reiterate. The Republicans' continuing resolution was a clean continuing resolution. There was no partisan politics injected into it. There were no conservative wish lists injected to it. What the Republicans want, and still want to this very second, is a clean continuing resolution to fund the United States government. What did the Democrats want in their continuing resolution? They inserted a provision to undo a provision in the Working Families Tax Cut, the One Big Beautiful Bill, that ended taxpayer-funded health care illegal benefits for illegal aliens. Democrats' proposal would require Medicaid to pay more for emergency care provided to illegal aliens than Medicaid does for American patients who are disabled, elderly, or children. And this bill would have also allowed California to continue a gimmick that funds its Medicaid for illegals program. Those are things that we ended, the Trump administration ended, with the passage and the signage of the One Big Beautiful Bill. And it is an undisputed fact, a fact that under the Biden administration, illegal aliens were absolutely receiving taxpayer-funded healthcare benefits. In fact, in fiscal year 2024, Medicaid costs for emergency services for illegal immigrants skyrocketed by 142% from the previous year to $9.1 billion. That's $9.1 billion taxpayer dollars that were going to emergency services for illegals. Between President Trump's last full fiscal year under his first administration and Joe Biden's last full fiscal year, Medicaid spending on emergency services for illegal immigrants nearly tripled. There was an increase of 196% between 2020 and 2024. And I have a chart here for you, and I'm more than happy to email it to you.
It's so obvious what the Democrats are doing. They're engaging in doublespeak. They're hiding behind semantics. They're saying stuff like, nowhere in the bill does it explicitly say that illegals can receive health care. Nowhere in the federal policy and Medicaid programs does it say that that's what we're doing, therefore we're not doing it. That's basically what Elizabeth Warren's saying.
Republicans say what you're really fighting for is taxpayer dollars for, as they put it, illegal aliens. I know that's not strictly true, but there is a provision.
Excuse me, not strictly true.
It's not true directly, but
out lie. It is a flat out lie.
The way that they frame it.
There is nothing in Medicare that permits one undocumented immigrant to get $1 of assistance.
Senator, if you let me finish the question. In the Democratic counteroffer, the proposal for funding, there is a restoration of Medicaid benefits for certain non-citizens that it had been taken away in the big, beautiful bill, as the Republicans put it. Republicans don't think those people should be getting health care on the taxpayer dime. I'm not asking on the merits. Politically, putting that in there exposes you to this talking point, this lie, as you put it. Why put it in there? Why is it worth it?
No, what's happened is that what we're saying is that whenever hospitals give care, what is going to be the level of reimbursement? And the Republicans said it's going to be a low level. The Democrats said we just want to go back to the level it was before because you're going to bankrupt hospitals.
But they know exactly what they're doing. They're intentionally pointing at federal law and ignoring all the other important context. We understand that it's against the law to use federal tax dollars to fund illegal migrant health care. We know. But there are loopholes that exist, and the Democrats are purposely ignoring that part of the conversation. And that's why they look so frickin' stupid, so dumb, when engaging in debate against somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. And speaking of that, I got the perfect clip here, a little CNN panel debate. Watch this lowly Democrat get mopped the frickin' floor with.
The fault of it is not illegal immigrants. When people go to hospitals and have to wait hours in the emergency room, you know why? Because when you pass a bill to close rural hospitals, you have to drive, and it consolidates the amount of patients. When doctors have to work extremely long hours, you know, my mom just had a heart procedure. The doctor had to do 50 heart catheterizations in one day. Do you think that's not because, let me tell you, not one person he did a heart catheterization on that day was an illegal immigrant. Abby's question was, is this a way that Republicans are just using illegal immigrants to deflect the conversation?
And the answer
is yes.
No, it is
yes.
not.
Because
refuse to look at the facts.
Illegal immigrants are not the reason why our healthcare system is broken.
Yeah, it's not deflection at all. In fact, I brought receipts. So here's the CMS, the Center for Medicaid and Medicare Services, right here with their press release earlier this year saying they were having to increase their oversight on states like California who were abusing Medicaid and classifying it as an EUSA, an emergency system, when it wasn't. The average state spends 5% of its Medicaid roughly on emergency services. California, 35 to 40%. Why would that be? Because California passed a state law that says we will fund Medicaid for illegals, and then, oh, by the way, we'll raise our provider taxes, and then, oh, by the way, we'll use that as a match to draw down federal funds. And they're using this whole cavitation process.
An accounting trick to put it on the taxpayer.
Exactly. They're gaming the system. They're abusing federal subsidies. Money is fungible. How many times do we have to say that? It's an accounting trick on the balance sheet. You can say, well, we didn't explicitly use the federal monies coming in for emergency health care services for all these illegal migrants showing up at the hospital. We used tax dollars, but they're subsidizing their state expenditures with the massive amount of federal subsidies that they're taking. And that's really a shocking stat. The average state spends around 5% of its Medicaid budget on emergency services, but in California, it's 35 to 40%. Well, why would that be? Obviously, because illegal migrants are now putting a massive burden on the healthcare system. You know, Democrats love to act as if it's a conspiracy or a lie, but notice how they'll never actually address what's really going on the state level. Notice how they never even engage in those topics. No, they just issue these blanket statements claiming the Republicans are lying because of some semantic nonsense. But obviously, California is doing it through Medicaid reimbursements, emergency service loopholes. They're shifting definitions. They're rewriting terms like emergency coverage or qualified non-citizen state match programs. What it really is bureaucratic laundering, and it's federal tax monies paying the damn bill, shouldering the burden. But obviously they know that most people won't read the fine print, and so they think they could get away with it by just going, ooh, the kids, Donald Trump's trying to kill the kids and your grandma. Unbelievable manipulation, unbelievable dodging of the actual issue and dismissal of the actual core claim here. And again, it shows what Democrats are fighting for, not you, not your health care, not your family, but illegal immigrants. Probably because Big Pharma and the healthcare providers love having all the new illegal immigrant customers that they can then charge the government for. And you got these bought and paid for politicians taking millions of dollars from these big corporations and healthcare lobbyists. And so they're doing...
Like we've been saying for so long, man. It's all corrupt, man. And I'm telling you, people like this lady, these politicians, I'm telling you, I'd be walked out in handcuffs. In my opinion, they ought to be walked out and investigated, audited. You know,
their corporate bidding while pretending it's for the people. It's not for the people. It's at the detriment of the people. The healthcare industry loves this. The lobbyists love it. The insurance giants, they're raking in the profits. The hospital networks, the nonprofit providers, they're all cashing in. Every new patient, legal or illegal, is another billing code. They love the Medicaid reimbursements. It's guaranteed money from the taxpayers. And that's what this is about. Not helping the poor, not expanding access. It's about funneling more public money through this system. And obviously, the responsible thing to do here is to, well, first of all, deport all the illegals, but secondly, protect the system. The healthcare system is fragile already. Every extra dollar of abuse, every fraudulent Medicaid claim puts more and more pressure on the healthcare system. You cannot keep subsidizing these loopholes and scams because, well, what do you think that's going to do? It's going to make premiums go up. Wait times increase, hospitals getting overcrowded. The quality of care will drop. And that's exactly what's happening. And it's funny because the Democrats are telling you that what the Republicans are trying to do is going to increase premiums, but that's exactly what they're doing, just like they did with Obamacare. These Democrats don't care about you. They're playing some corrupt corporate angle. And as per usual, everything they touch will just simply get worse. Don't let them do it. Don't fall for the scam. The last thing you need is bigger bureaucracy, more government spending, an expansion of the system that now caters to literal illegals. Everything the big bureaucratic Democrats touch turns to you-know-what. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys.
Total shit.